Okay, now that is rare. I actually didn't mind this chapter. I'm a cynical One Piece reader, and who knows, it may even be one day when I finally decide to drop the series completely. Because in the end, the slow pacing and many things more are not to my liking. And not to mention the fact that there's been treating. But it's just something about this chapter, which I can actually complain about less. I know a lot of people are probably complaining more, and you may say that I'm not giving enough praise, but I'm saying before, I'm a cynical One Piece reader now. So you just have to bear with it. But, again, there's something about this chapter which makes me happy. And that is very rare nowadays. I only read One Piece because of the thing is. Why does it make me happy? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know myself. It's missing something. I'm just not sure what. The angry anime fan that is better reviewer. First off, a cover page with many different people of the Straw Hats being, including Sabo and Law, and for some reason Rob Lucci and Boa Hancock. Why are they in this color page? Is that meant to foreshadow something, or is that just cool? Well, either way, Sabo is wielding a staff. Is he meant to represent, well, Son Wukong or whatever? Also, but the cover page story is about the fire tank pirates, and it's revealed that Chiffon wants to see her twin sister Lola. So why do I have a feeling that it's gonna be so mentoxy? Either way, onto the chapter. Kitto has refused to team up with Luffy. Well, that makes sense. He is meant to be Luffy's rival. I think of every single supernova, the one who is most dangerous to Luffy is Kitto. And it's also the fact that he wants to avenge his partner. But most importantly, he is done making alliances, because after all, 2 of his alliance members betrayed him. I'm pretty sure they did. I hate Apu with a burning passion. I don't think he's an amazing character or anything else. It's just still not exactly explained why these 2 supernovas, who are supernovas, mind you, who wanted to team up to take down Yonko Shanks, why did they betray Kitto? Well, the most obvious thing is, it's Kaido, you idiot. Kaido, if some people say to me, no one can defeat Kaido, but I am screaming they are supernovas! They are meant to destroy the status quo. Don't you guys realize that? My point is, though, we still don't know why Hawkins and Apu went on with Kaido. Although, if I'm to be perfectly honest, I think it is simply cowardice. Hawkins is a guy who believes in fate and is a fatalist. He probably read the cards, realized that no one can defeat Kaido, so he decided to follow fate. But Apu, on the other hand, he is a troll and a trickster. I'm pretty sure he has decided to follow Kaido not only to mess with Kitto, but also to, prove that he only fights for the winning battle. So, either way, we'll find out. He takes Killer, who for some reason is still following him. Last time I saw him, he was brainwashed, although I guess his mind has snapped out of it. He decides to let Luffy live out of composition as he creates an artificial limb with his magnetic power, who we still don't know the name of! Oda, can you just please give me the names of the devil fruits already? I know I'm not gonna complain here, but I'm complaining about minor things so far. They're gonna find their comrades. Well, if the killer's fate is any indication, it's very likely that Kitto's other pirates crew members have probably also become smiley pleasurist slaves or something like that. Either way, but then suddenly the troop members that, even though they defeated Odan, don't really want to follow Luffy as soon as they hear that he's a pirate. Well, they have been forced to slave from a pirate for 20 years. I guess that makes sense, but I'm still slapping my head a little bit and saying, surely they must have realized. Luffy is also still burning up from his fever, which is pretty annoying. He is supposed to have antibodies! And then, of course, was that fish in Whole Cake Island. But I still haven't healed from that trauma of the Whole Cake Island, mind you. So I'm still pretty angry about that. Either way, of course, Chopper is on his way to find an antibody. So while he has these moments with Tama, who is also there, as also taunts Momonosuke, then suddenly Luffy shows some maturity when he actually forces Momo to go outside, and as soon as everybody sees Momo, they tear up and fall on their knees. I mean, I have to slap my face a little bit about saying that, and how did they recognize him after 20 years? I know it's time travel and all that stuff and myth and many things more, but the fact that they recognized him and not Old Man Hiyori is a little bit strange. But now, for the first time, Momo actually feels the weight of his thing. I'm still a little bit pissed off that we have to have this enormous, annoying, female-voiced brat to be here. If there were just something that could make him age up to, well, I don't know, 20 years off and have a different voice or something like that. But I don't think it will happen. But he knows the weight. Because he's saying that what they're seeing is not him. They're seeing the Kozuki dream, the shadow of the great Kozuki. So that means that Momo is now, for the first time perhaps, realizing the heaviness of his burden. He is now seeing, what is that word, that he has to bear all this. Either way, Kawamatsu says that he will rejoin the Mels, but he is going somewhere else. And what is that? Well, if it turns out that Hiyori is not who she said she were, then I'm gonna be pretty pissed off. Otherwise, if it is exactly as she has said it is, then I actually assume Kawamatsu is going to find Hiyori and protect her. Because after all, he did that for 13 years. Elsewhere, Ashura Doshi has taken Ino and Kinemon to a place which is actually the reason why he has become such a depressed person. Because he's taking them to a place full of graves, and it is actually revealed that many years ago he actually was still believing in the Kozuki place. He knew they would return, and he even called them Lord Momonosuke. But his men were growing impatient. They had no food, they had disease, and many things more they destroyed. So his men actually said that they were at their limit 10 years ago, or maybe even less. They said that they had to do it. And they even, and back then when Ashura was even kids, they used to have something called a test of courage, because we're human treasure ourselves, that we became afraid. Throw away the name of throw away the wits. It is something like snatch before a meaning was throw away. So with that they charged at the place, leaving behind Ashura Doji, and unfortunately every single one of them died, which is one of the reasons why Ashura Doji lost his faith in the Kozuki as well as anything else. He saw his comrades, a little bit of a suicidal charge, but no fear of death doing all that. He lost his childhood friends, he lost an army, he lost everything against Kaido. As we all know, he somehow squared off against him before. So he feels like the fact that it had to take 20 years was a curse. But then he even points out something pretty interesting. Why did it require 20 years? I'm sure we will understand once all this ends. There is most definitely a reason. Yeah, because actually, that makes a very good point. We don't know yet the power of the Toki Toki fruits completely. You know, if Hiyori by some miracle had actually eaten that fruit now, then I actually wish you could create, you know, a subspace thing where time moves faster so Momonosuke could age up in that chamber or whatever, but that's not going to happen. My point is, why did Toki send them 20 years in the future? Was that just because they wanted to wait for a very long time? Or is it possible that both Toki and Oden could somehow see into the future? Remember, Katakuri could see a little bit in the future. Yes, that was only 5 minutes, but what I'm trying to say is, what if Oden could see far into the future? What if he saw Kaido and Orochi's death? Maybe Toki did too. But they saw that it had to be many years. Yeah, I mean, that is not a good answer, especially if the fact that that doesn't answer the question, how did they know it was 20 years? So yeah, why exactly 20 years? Is this all going to the dawn of the things? Something is happening this year. We just don't know what. Either way, having seen all this and including many things more, Ashura decides to actually join them after all and exact a revenge. This time he will do it. Come with us if we have results. But the crew member says that we will not let Lord Yass's death go in vain. So with that, he officially rejoins the crew, even saying that in the past we were the same age, but we have become 20 years stronger, together with Inu. So with that, also we're switching to Zoro, who has defeated a ninja of the Orochimaru. And here I actually have to do a complaint again. Oh yeah, Uda. You will never show Sanji defeating a character, but you're showing Zoro do it! Once again, another evidence that Sanji is Uda's least favorite character. You can whine to me and say, oh come on, grow up, all you want. There is so many evidence that Sanji is indeed his least favorite character. Now, continue. Hiyori is with Zoro on a different region, some fall deep within the forest of the Enma Shrine, where Zoro tells Hiyori to guide him back to the bridge, where he is gonna find the three swords. Without it, and he cannot forgive Orochi, and he will avenge Toneyasu. While Hiyori just says that she wishes she could kill Orochi with her own hands. The thing is, I think Orochi is completely and utterly a weakling. Yes, he has a powerful mythical devil fruit, but I think that is the only thing he has. Other than that, he's not powerful. So it makes sense for someone who cannot fight like Hiyori to actually be the one to kill him. Finally, we ended in the Flower Capital, where Hawkins is saying that Drake is acting strange, and that that Hawkins has somehow caught Law. Although it's not so very somehow. He was blackmailed with the lives of his friends. But what makes this at least capture pretty good is that Law is showing his fearless smile. That is what I like about Law. Because after all, we cannot forget the man who had the balls to flip off Doflamingo, even as he was near his death. Although technically he didn't die, but you get my point. So that is pretty amazing. But yeah, they have captured Law, and will he steal Ellie Beans? No, I don't think so. Law may not trust the Straw Hats anymore, and he may not be so happy about this alliance, but I think not even he will betray the alliance. If anyone understands the importance of the alliance more, I think it is actually Law, and not, well, you know, the rest, so to speak. The question is, though, now, what will happen now? Well, as I said before, I may have complained a little bit, but I didn't mind this chapter because it was filled with hope, gathering of allies, making declaration, and many things more. It is also something about the final page that made me a little bit hopeful, but I don't want to be that hopeful, and that is, Hawkins is saying that the Rake is acting strange, and he is denying it. There is always this theory. Is it possible that Drake is not loyal to Kaido? So far, we have no proof of that. But I'm praying! Please make it so! Please don't make Drake a loyal member of Kaido. It's also worth noting that Drake has a reputation of being a backstabber. So why shouldn't he backstab Kaido? Yeah, that's basically this chapter. Not too bad, not too great, but definitely way better than some chapters that I've been seeing in a while. It is hope, even if it is set up. Some things are assembled, but some things are still there. Now Law is captured. Will the Straw save him? We don't know. You give me your thoughts if you have any.